Hi, I'm Ray Tedder, and we're at the Clooney Center here for the Power of the Voice Award presented by Access Sacramento. And it's a yearly award, and we're in our 6th year of presenting this award to someone in our community who's really made a difference in terms of being outspoken and putting forward ideas for a better Sacramento. And Gina Knepp, who is the manager at the Sacramento Front Street Shelter, is with us here, and we're going to talk to her and Bobby Mann and the manager of the Community Development Program, the City of Los Angeles. Did you come from Los Angeles? The City of Sacramento, Ryan DeVore. Hi guys, how are you?
Thanks for having us.
Terrific.
Good to see
Thank
you. Well, this is an auspicious day, and I've never actually broadcast from this floor here, so it's kind of wonderful. It's kind of different, and this place is going to be filled in a little while with a bunch of people.
That's right.
So, what's it like to all of a sudden be told you're going to win this Power of the Voice Award?
Well, I knew I had a big mouth, but I almost fell out of my chair when I got the call. I'm honored. I mean, it's very humbling. But thank you.
Well, don't thank me. I mean, a lot of people watched the development of what has happened at the Front Street shelter over the years. And my wife and I have been getting animals from Front Street for the 32 years that we've lived up here in Sacramento. And I've seen big changes. And Bobby, you are the spokesperson for those changes, but I'd like to hear you two talk about how that all came to be. But you have the manager of the Community Development Program. You have been with the city for a couple years now, right?
15, but 4 years in the director capacity.
In director development. So it's amazing experience probably seeing all the major changes in our city, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and Gina and her team play a big role in the creativity and leadership, and here in our city, and specifically at the shelter, she does amazing things with her team, with a small group. I'm very proud of the work that they do over there.
Good. I'm glad. You know, it's. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about some of the changes that you have seen happening, especially with the animal shelter. So, how long have you been with the animal shelter, Gina?
I'm going on my 7th year. 7 years there. But I've been with the city for 32 years.
Oh,
I started when I was 12.
You don't tell me you've been with the city for 32 years.
No, that would mean I would have started when I was about -40, so no, not that long.
So, Bobby, I mean, there's a lot of services and a lot of interesting changes that have happened to and I have seen myself, you know, just the structure of the service areas.
Absolutely.
And where the animals are kept, and some very, very pretty things there, you know, some accessible ways of dealing with animals and their needs.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are the oldest shelter in town, and we've been around for many years, but you know, we've put a little bit of lipstick on that pig because we've wanted to beautify the place, but it all starts internally, right? It starts from leadership, it starts from giving great experiences, great customer service to the community, and allowing them to see them for what the shelter is. The perception of animal control has not always been a positive thing, but luckily over the last 7 years, there's been quite a transition, which we can talk about today.
Yeah. So what are the first things when you walked in you thought you'd see and you'd say, oh, gotta fix that?
Well, that's not exactly how it happened for me. The city was going to outsource the shelter and get out of the sheltering business. So I was managing 311 at the time, the city's 24-hour call center.
Yes.
And my director at the time asked me to go to the shelter to shut it down. Assured me I wouldn't have to touch any animals and just take care of the books. 3 months and you'll be out of there. And it's been going on a 7-year love affair now.
A 7-year love affair. I caught it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's an amazing thing. You really bought into the needs and the direction that it was going.
Well, it was such an amazing opportunity, right? There was no place to go but up.
Yeah.
We were the worst shelter in town.
Yeah.
And now I'd like to say we are the best shelter in town.
Yes, there was a high rate of the loss of the animals having to be
Euthanized.
Yeah, euthanized. Good
Yeah.
choice words. And I remember that, and I remember that it was in the newspaper, and my wife and I talked about it. But that's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. And I think we've demonstrated that there are many creative things we can do, but we can't do it without the support of our community, and we certainly have that. Sacramento has been tremendous.
So, how did you get your voice out? What did you think you did? Did you go down to Ryan's office and pound on the desk?
No, I mean, poor Ryan, he inherited us a couple years ago, but no, I told my director, I said, after about a month there, I said, I think we have some opportunities for improvement. Talked to the city manager, John Shirey at the time, and asked for 1 year to demonstrate that we can go from worst to best. And they gave me that shot.
And it happened.
I think so.
Yeah, good.
And well, right, and to chime in on that a little bit, obviously there has been quite a transition of success, and most of the times when people are talking about shelters, their minds go to the pets. But one thing that people never speak of is that at that time when the shelter was going to be outsourced, many of those shelter employees would have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Many of them had no experience besides animal care, and that's not a very lateral move anywhere in the city. And so it wasn't just a situation where Gina was able to take the success rate of the animals. She was really able to save people's livelihoods, and I think that's a very important part of that story.
That's very good. That's very good. So the things that have changed, I think, I looked at some of the services that are provided, which didn't happen before. I mean, I like the idea of what was that noise?
Co-stars, Ray.
Oh, I see.
Co-stars, yeah.
I see. Good. That some of the services are for people becoming having streamlined, much easier to prove that you can take a dog home and make sure not have to return it.
Right. Well, we really espouse the philosophy that it's about both ends of the leash. At Front Street, it's not just about the animals, but it's about the people that love them. We changed our entire adoption protocol. It used to be so hard to adopt an animal.
Yes.
The ninth degree, and did you have insurance, and just we made it so arduous that people walked away, right? And they just want to save a pet. So we believe that most people are good. We want to make the best match possible. But at the end of the day, we want that animal that needs a new home to go home with a new family, right? Or go back home where they originally came from,
yes,
if we can find their owners. And that's a very big deal for us too. We've done a lot. Maybe we should talk about how we've increased the reunions between pet owners and their lost pets, because that's another transformative.
Yeah.
We started doing about a year ago. Well, first of all, we trust people. We trust our volunteers. And so we have our own Nextdoor account. Are you familiar with Nextdoor, that neighborhood platform? And the city allowed us to have our own sign-in. And every single day for the last year and 2 months, we've posted every stray dog daily, multiple times a day, because we bring in 30 to 35 animals a day to the appropriate neighborhoods. And we've quantifiably increased the return to owner rate using that free platform, free volunteers. They do it out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yes.
And we've managed to get pets back home where they belong. I mean, how great is that?
It's great. Let me
Right?
tell you, there's my board president and the organization that I'm in, she lives in Midtown, and her dogs over the last 6 years, she's had 2 or 3 dogs, and 2 of them were runners, and they would get out. And so it was very hard. We'd drive up and down all those streets and all of that. And
Well, also for many years now, we've been giving people a free ID tag. Your dog should never be naked. Your cat should never go out without its identification, right? We don't. I got my driver's license in my purse. And so we've offered people a very easy way, a free ID tag with their phone number on it for their pets, and a collar if they need it. And as we look at what's happened since about 2012 to the present, we're seeing a larger number of animals coming in with ID, which means, guess what? They get to go home. And so over time, we offer $5 microchips. That's unheard of. Unheard of. That's how much we pay for them, and that's how much we charge for them. So we're losing money on labor. But if we can keep animals out of the shelter or get them home quickly, we've actually saved money.
Microchips are used to find and identify the dog.
Right. It's not a GPS tracker.
Or cat.
It's like a VIN on your car. That's what that is. But we try to add all of those things. There's a facial recognition platform called Finding Rover, and it actually works. So we try to give our pet owners in Sacramento all the things that they can do to safeguard the animals that they love so dearly in case they're ever lost, and that happens.
Bobby, is there kind of a growth in the animals that people have as pets in Sacramento?
Well, yeah, it's very safe to say that we are placing more animals into homes in Sacramento than ever. And a lot of that is really just about giving our community an opportunity to be successful. A lot of that started early on when Gina implemented our social media pages. So starting off with Facebook, which started about 5 or 6 years ago?
Well, when did you join the team?
About 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Call it 5 years ago. I started off organically with no followers, and at that time we were very honest and transparent, as any city organization should be. And we said we are not good at what we do. We want to be better, and we want to allow the community to help us get better. And since then, our Facebook page has grown from no followers to over 170,000 followers, about 85% which are regional. And that's really been one of our largest voices, one of our largest platforms. Using television partnerships such as how we are here today, and really just allowing people to invest their time, energy, and space in their homes to help us be better at what we do.
Let's see. And Ryan, you have an overview of all of the community service agencies through. Can you give me a kind of a picture on how does this all fit together?
You know, one thing I'd say is that this should be a case study on effective community engagement, because I was shocked to learn. I think the page had about 70,000 followers when I became the director of this responsibility, and that alone was amazing. But to see it grow by another 100,000, that social reach is unbelievable, and the engagement with our more than 1,000 volunteers, it's exceptional in any case, in any regard, whether it be public or private circumstance. And particularly with the small team that Gina and her folks are able to deliver those results. I think it ought to be studied more and paid attention to, because it really is exceptional.
Yeah. Well, the city is growing by leaps and bounds. There are more apartments being built. At least 10,000 apartments are actually happening.
Yes.
And a lot of young people, and single people, and they want a dog or a cat, and they want all kinds of pets, so now we even have a pet park in downtown Midtown, and I like it, and I think it's wonderful. My board president, she walks her dog down Q Street to that, and it's a nice thing for her and her dog.
Provides her enrichment.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Exactly right.
We'll deliver about 3,000 to 4,000 dwelling units this year to the city. So that's above average, significantly above average over the previous 10 years or so. And every other one of those homes has a pet in it that we may interact with someday. So it is a challenge that continues to grow, and the team here is on top of it. And their creativity too. I mean, the work ethic, creativity, the community engagement is really, it's amazing. It's something that I haven't seen in even my visits to other cities around the country. We are doing something special here, and I'm very proud of Gina and her team.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I wonder how we compare with other cities in terms of community development, and having worked in the field in the arts and seen major leaps in Long Beach and Pasadena and changes in how community services are provided to people is something that I used to follow, at least in the arts, and to find it in other areas is really good.
Well, and it's great, speaking of Long Beach, it's actually a very comparable city to Sacramento, especially based off of animal welfare. Maybe Gina can kind of chime in how we've also been used as a model now, the city of Sacramento has, for Long Beach and what they're doing to help save animals.
Long Beach went through a complete audit of their animal care services. And because we are so similar, our demographics, budget, population, they used us as a benchmark and studied all of the programs, and especially our volunteer program and our foster care program, which is something else we should speak on. So we always, it's not a week goes by that I don't get a phone call or an email from another city asking us, hey, how did you do this? Tell me about this program. Going back to next door, I don't know that there's another city in California doing this yet. And so we're trying to be leaders and game changers, right? And you raise the bar and people want to keep up with you, right?
Yes,
Imitation is the best, what do they say, best compliment? So you always got to be looking for that. You always have to be chasing something. That's my motto.
Good. Well, it's a good motto. And talk about the fostering program.
Well, so 11,000 cats and dogs come into our shelter every year, and 1,000 miscellaneous creatures, rabbits, hawks, pigs, right? But 11,000 cats and dogs. And our daily average population is 260 in the shelter, comfortably, okay? But when 60 kittens that are under 8 weeks of age show up at our door on Wednesday morning, where do we put them? Especially if they're bottle babies and they need to be fed around the clock. We can't provide that level of care. So we're not there 24/7. So we have a very vibrant foster program for cats and dogs. We put 4,500 animals a year in private homes so that they can either grow up, get socialized, heal perhaps from a surgery. So Sacramento residents are really the lifesavers when it comes to our foster program. We provide the food and the medical care. They provide the love and socialization. And it's a wonderful marriage.
Wow. Well, we're going to get a good chance to look at that because two of your volunteers are here.
Absolutely.
And
two
we're
of
going
our
to take
best.
a short pause, a little pause right now, a little break with a public service announcement.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it's on, but we'll find out.
All right.
And we'll take a little pause for the cause, and then we'll meet two of your volunteers and
Excellent.
a couple of other special guests.
Very special guests.
Okay. We're going to take a short pause for the cause right now, and we'll be back right after these important messages.
Hey, going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather! Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark! We're just playing! We're just playing on trying to get you out of here!
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Oh, it's called the Power of the Voice Award. And with me in the studio is Gina Knepp and some folks from the city to talk about the animal shelter, the Front Street Animal Shelter. And with me are some of the inmates of the animal shelter. Judy, you're a volunteer, right? Oh, okay. I know, I'm just joking. Ta-da, boom. But here is one of the people who hang out there, right?
Yeah.
And
well, she doesn't hang out there, though. She's my foster cat.
And what is her name, Lucy?
No, Alice.
Alice?
Yeah, Alice.
Hiya there.
Yeah, this is
What do you have
Alice.
to say for yourself?
Meh.
Okay.
She's about 6.5 weeks old. She's gonna be a big dog.
Uh-huh.
And her mom, believe it or not, was a pit bull of some sort, and probably a mix. And then we think maybe Alaskan Malamute.
Amazing.
They're very smart puppies.
Now,
very smart.
when you began working there was about 19% of the animals were given foster homes.
19%.
Was it, well, here's what it says here.
When I got there, I think we had
19% to 87%
that's save rate.
finding homes.
That's save rate. Yeah.
Leave life.
But we didn't have a foster program. Virtually didn't have one. We had maybe 8 dogs in foster, and now the average is 110 at one time and 1,000 cats in foster at one time.
Do you two ladies foster?
All the time.
So what does that mean?
Well, we get the supplies from Front Street, and we take the dogs or puppies home. I've had moms in litters, and I've had individual puppies, and I've had grown dogs, adult dogs. But they give us all the shelter supplies, and we need food, potty pads, all that stuff, and we keep them for the first 8 to 10 weeks, and we potty train them and put them through their first training, basically, until they're ready to be adopted.
Wow. So what happens if you get parrots? Do you have people who specialize in...
We had a parrot not too long ago, a month ago.
Wow. And you had someone who fostered that?
We found someone that was a parrot expert.
Oh, I love
Off the parrot went. Yeah.
It's very exciting what you do because it's a way of saving these lovely lives. Yeah.
And this is Alice's brother over here. His name is Busby.
He's also about as noisy as the other one.
Yeah, he's about as loud. And
They're shy right now.
Yeah, they're shy right now, but at night when they want food or they have to go out, they make a lot of noise.
They do.
You know, Ray, a really cool thing about the foster program is whoever adopts these pups are getting animals that have been loved, a little bit of training, socialized, hopefully potty trained. I mean, what a perfect pet, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Not raised in the shelter.
Not raised in the shelter. Yeah, because there are some that are...
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, thanks for bringing these two guys aside, and we're going to go on with our conversation about the administration of it and this wonderful award.
Thank you.
Gina is receiving.
Can I give a little plug if anyone is interested?
Yeah,
in
sure.
Alice and
Zoom in on
Busby?
this, Mr. Cameraman.
They'll be available probably in about 3 weeks, so you can contact the shelter and find out when they'll be available for adoption.
There's the shot. Nice shot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's sleeping. Well, thank you both for
They're
coming.
very tired.
Okay, thanks for bringing in these beautiful
Thanks,
animals.
girls.
Okay. Well, I'm holding this microphone, but I also have a microphone here. At any rate, so we have about 5 minutes, and I really would like to get to some of those points that you wanted to make on...
Which ones? There's so many.
I mean, you said that we were missing a bunch of them, and I went, whoa, what was that? And I was looking at my...
Ray, I think what was great, number one, that was amazing how Judy just jumped in there and advertised for the shelter and for these great animals. And I think that is really what's so significant about this year's Power of the Voice Award, because Gina drives the bus, but she's really allowed people to grow to become ambassadors. And so, one person can only be so loud, but when you have a leader that allows everyone to speak on behalf of the shelter, to learn and engage and be an ambassador, there are so many voices out there. So,
well, maybe we should talk about the volunteer program.
Okay, that sounds like a good thing. Here. Hold on, there you go.
Don't fall off the stage, Ray.
Yeah.
Without our volunteer team and their support, we could not open our doors every day. We just cannot do it. The volume of work is untenable. So we have almost 2,000 volunteers who gave us...
2,000 volunteers.
Correct. Who gave us 100,000 hours of service last year, which is equivalent, if I had to pay them, $2.4 million. We're having an additional 49 employees. That's how many hours it was. My God, right?
Yeah, it really is an amazing thing.
It is amazing, and it's not just about saving the animals, but what are we doing for our community in exchange? Sometimes we're the social outlet. We have seniors, we have 12-year-olds. We have adults with disabilities. Our doors are wide open. Our volunteers do everything except operate, unless of course they're a licensed veterinarian, and euthanize. But everything, they work right alongside us. And we give young teenagers job experience, opportunities to learn customer service skills. So we try to give back equally to their giving to us.
Yeah.
I just think we have a beautiful model, and I can't thank Sacramento and the surrounding areas, because we have people coming to volunteer for us that live in Roseville. Yeah, I mean, they're coming from far.
Well, that's really a great thing. One of my neighbor boys, AJ Cook, he volunteered there, and I think it was a turning point in his life.
Yeah.
I think it gave him some... He's an animal walker now. That's what he does. He walks dogs for a living.
Nice.
And for a young man to spend there and have the discipline of cleaning out the...
Learn some work ethic.
Yeah.
A little bit of husbandry skills.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
You know, something that we didn't touch on at all, if we still have a minute,
Yeah.
is the city opened what was called the winter triage shelter for humans last December. Now it's the summer triage shelter. You know, our mayor is very focused on improving the condition for people experiencing homelessness. So there's a shelter in North Sacramento with 200 people, and since December we've served 150, 175 animals living in this facility 24/7. Providing food, veterinary care, behavior enrichment, the right kind of muzzles or collars, all of the things they need to keep those people together with their pets. So that's something that we're super proud of this year and look forward to doing more of.
Wow. Okay, well, you know, Ryan, you
We're busy.
you have a wonderful program here, a real busy program, and I think it's kind of a good pat on the back for you and an award for you, and thank you so much for coming to talk to me about this. I think it's a step forward for our community over time to be able to develop this and also to share it with, here's a group of people coming in for this award ceremony and talking about the power of the voice, you know. I think Steinbeck wrote a book called that, I'm not sure, where really was about the democratization of America and how can that be? How can we, you know, make America a place where your voice is heard and understood and maybe added to the power for change. And I think you're now a prime example of somebody who added her voice and also did what needed to be done as a manager.
Well, I know, but I have a great team. I could not have done this by myself or without all of the volunteers that help us. The media has been tremendously supportive in Sacramento. It takes the entire village, and I think we've done it.
Right. Thank you, all three of you, for coming to talk to me about this. And okay, well, that's about all the time we have. We have to say goodbye, and then this award show is going to begin. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next week.